Francis is gone, and Jones vs. Gane is official. All the big names in MMA have been buzzing about this, and everyone's excited about Jones's return, especially considering his new contract. That's right, guys, Jon is set to fight 8 times as per his new agreement with the UFC. And just like that, the drought is finally over. I don't know about you guys, but all the uncertainty around Bones' return has been frustrating and kind of stressful. Not knowing if we'd ever see the greatest to ever do it, stepping back into the octagon, it was annoying for sure, especially considering the circumstances around the guy's inactivity. No one wanted this whole being banned business to be the note this guy ended his career on. But hey, as UFC 285 comes up and Gane vs. Jones is confirmed, the UFC has signed a new contract with their Wonder Boy, and you can bet it's gotten us all excited. Yeah, the MMA world has gone from not knowing when Jones would return to this. We know for sure the guy has 8 fights on his contract. We're gonna see him work his magic in the ring for a good few years.
And still, light heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Jones!
And his first fight is confirmed. He's taken on Ciryl Gane for the now vacant heavyweight title. But what about the other 7 fights? What could be next for Jones after Gane? Well, that kind of depends on how UFC 285 goes. If Jon wins, and I think he might, well then in that case, the next fight will be a title defense. And there aren't any fighters in the division who particularly deserve a title shot at the moment. So the UFC will make the most exciting fight they can and throw Stipe into the mix. Now this guy's a beast, and he's an ex-heavyweight champ.
Such a sweet and gentle gentleman. I would say he's terrifying, but he is. He's a kind man.
You can bet he's gonna give Jones a run for his money. But what if Gane somehow beats Jon? Well, this is a genuine possibility, guys. Even though I said that it was likely Bones would win, his French opponent is a beast as well, and he's one of the fastest heavyweights in the division.
Oh! Listen to that.
They clapped arms and it was high impact.
If anyone is gonna give the returning GOAT trouble, it's Ciryl. And if he does win, well then assuming that the fight is close, we're probably gonna see Jones vs. Gane 2 as the second fight on the American's 8-fight contract. If the fight isn't too close, that's very unlikely, the UFC might throw some more beatable guys at Jon, like maybe Tuivasa, to get him a win, and get him back in there with the Frenchman.
They love the shoey out here.
In any case, guys, the heavyweight division is about to give us a whole lot of entertainment, and Jon Jones will be at the center of it all. Still, guys, we can't get lost in the Jones hype. The Predator leaving the UFC is just as big a bit of news as anything else regarding this situation. So before we get into anything else, we gotta touch on the circumstances around Ngannou's departure. The Predator didn't part with the UFC on the greatest of terms. In fact, he actually felt very disrespected and constrained by the promotion, and the negotiation process for a new contract didn't go so well, and the UFC wasn't in the mood to accept any of the guy's demands. According to him, their whole strategy was to slap him in the face with money. Yeah, as you can probably guess, things didn't work out, and the man is a free agent. But that's not where it ends. Upon his release, Dana made some wild comments about the Predator being scared and running from Jones.
I think Francis is in a place right now where he doesn't want to take a lot of risk. Feels like he's in a good position where he could fight.
That's right, guys. Considering all of this, fighters and pros from the MMA world have been buzzing about the news of Jones's return, his fight with Gane, and of course about the release of Ngannou. And there are some guys we just have to mention, starting with Henry Cejudo, Jones himself, and Gane. Now, of course, Bones and his French opponent have had some things to say about this fight, and to no one's surprise, both guys are extremely hyped. After all, it's their job to sell the fight. Although with a matchup as crazy as this one, the tickets are just selling themselves. Anyway, these two aside, there is someone we have to mention when considering the returning American fighter. Henry Cejudo, who's been working with Jones, tweeted out in support of his teammate. It's safe to say that the King of Cringe is hyped for this match.
Flyweight champion of the world,
I look to become a 2-division world champ now.
Now, it's as I said, there are multiple guys we just have to mention, and Cejudo is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole bunch of big voices talking about this whole situation, and we can't forget to mention Eddie Alvarez. Yeah, the American knuckle star isn't exactly known for being quiet, and the guy expressed his hype for the upcoming heavyweight title match. But he also let Dana know what was up. He laid into the UFC head honcho for his comments regarding Ngannou, and reminded everyone that no one in the UFC was afraid of anyone. Yeah, let's not forget that Francis walked away from the promotion as the undisputed heavyweight king. The guy's a beast.
The appearance, number 13, Francis Ngannou finally breaks through and becomes the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion.
And he's not running from Jones. The UFC just lost the bid for the champ. Yeah, Eddie's tweets were entertaining alright, and MMA fans love watching someone stand up to Dana. But again, the fun doesn't stop with Cejudo and Alvarez. Yep, yet another ex-UFC champ also weighed in. Michael Bisping reacted to the whole situation on his YouTube channel.
We're here to talk about 3 reasons why Jon Jones will become the heavyweight champion of the world.
The count started with the whole Ngannou situation, and well, despite your expectations, given that he's a UFC employee, he gave a pretty balanced response. According to Bisping, Francis did, in fact, mishandle the whole renegotiation process, but he made sure to let everyone know that this was just his opinion. He didn't do anything to discredit the Predator though, and he just explained the UFC's reasoning, wished Ngannou the best, and let it be. The man pointed out the fact that, of course, we all wanted to see that Jones versus Francis match, but there was still a lot of reason to be hyped. He even made a whole video about how he thought the fight would go down, and he wasn't the only huge voice on YouTube to speak about it either. Like I said, guys, tip of the iceberg. The biggest MMA names that reacted to all of this are yet to come. I'm talking about Joe Rogan's discussion with Belal Muhammad.
A great person he is, too, and it just makes you want to work that much harder for him.
Well, just being around someone who is...
Joe is a huge voice in MMA, sure, but that doesn't mean you should ignore Belal. The man's a top-ranked welterweight, guys, so this conversation was pretty cool to see. Rogan started by mentioning how huge a loss to the UFC it was, that Francis was gone. But guys, there's no point dwelling on it. And sure enough, these two guys got right past that and got into Jones versus Gane. Belal brought up that Cyril might be a more difficult match than Ngannou. Yeah, I know, pretty crazy. But guys, it makes sense. The Frenchman is very fast. Still, Rogan pointed out how Francis was a different animal and that he'd beaten Gane. Not only that, but guys like Tuivasa, who were difficult for Cyril to beat, and Ngannou walked through them. Still, it was an interesting conversation, and one thing's clear from all the reactions the pros have given is this: the fight is about to be insane. Those were some cool facts about Jones's new contract, and also some of the craziest reactions pros have given to Jones versus Gane and Ngannou's release. We'll see you in the next one.